So today's class, we are focused on some seasonal fall ingredients and a different type of fish than we had featured in past classes. So today we are doing some seared halibut, and October is National Seafood Month. So that's also a part of the reason why we're doing that today. So we're making a seared halibut with a traditional French Beurre Blanc sauce, which Raul is going to show you how to make, and roasted root vegetable hash with also some butternut squash thrown in there as well, and sauteed garlicky broccolini as well. So this is a really delicious dish. We provided you the recipe in the invite. If you don't have it, if you would like me to send it to you, please let me know in the chat. But this recipe, our recipes are always meant to be a guideline. We don't ever want to, tell you you have to follow it exactly this way in order for it to come out good. It's going to come out great. You make it your own. Everybody has different taste preferences. So if you would like to add more or less salt and pepper, butter, oil, all the things that are easy to modify, then please do modify it to your own taste. We've got some learning objectives today. So we're going to show you how to make a traditional French Beurre Blanc sauce. And we will talk about how fresh herbs can bring a really interesting element to roasted vegetables. We're also going to talk about some of the health benefits of different kinds of root vegetables and talk about halibut as well and the nutrients that we get from halibut. So some safety things up front before we start. Fish is what we call a potentially hazardous food, which means it has to be stored and cooked at a specific temperature. So fish needs to be cooked to 145 degrees. So we will be checking that temperature when we are finishing up our fish today. And another thing we're doing for safety reasons is we are going to be prepping all of our produce and herbs and those things before we even touch our fish. So that way our cutting board has no cross-contamination between the two. So when you are making this at home, we recommend that you do the same. Or you can use a second cutting board for the fish as well. We also recommend that you are very careful with your knife, and we want to remind you that a dull knife is actually more dangerous than a sharp knife because dull knives can slip and then you cut yourself. Sharp knife, it gets a good grip on the food and it's much easier. Also make sure to have an oven mitt handy for handling any hot things. And now I'm going to pass it over to Raul to get into our recipe for today.
All right, guys. So like Eliza says, National Month Seafood for the seafood. Tonight we have a fresh halibut. I want to show you my ingredients tonight. Let me check from you guys. So we have a broccolini. We have some vegetables right here, like root vegetables. It's special for the October for the season too. So we have 2 items perfect for the season. One of those is this celery root. I don't know if you guys see before. It's an ugly vegetables, but it's really traditional in French. Also, we have parsnips right here. We have a butternut squash and carrots. And this time we have a egg on carrots. And also you want to combine one of fresh herbs, rosemary and thyme. For following the recipes, I have halibut fish, white halibut, and also my other ingredients. Easy for you guys. See the recipe today is the heavy cream, white wine, lemon juice, shallots, garlic, butter, of course, salt and pepper we use for everything, and microgreen just for the garnish. So that's the ingredients for tonight.
So these root vegetables also, you can choose whatever kind of vegetables you like. Raul is going to show how he preps these ones if you want to use these ingredients that we included in the recipe. So kick it off.
Right. So guys, I hope you guys enjoy the recipe for tonight. It's very easy, fast for make it, and so let's do it. So the first thing I want to do is the vegetables. I want to cut the celery root. You guys, it's very easy if you cut with a knife because the peeler is too hard to peel because it's a big pieces. I think you guys see everything around. That's the ugly vegetables I think we have in the garden. So I cut it in more pieces.
Yeah, and like Raul said, it's a very ugly vegetable. It's got all those little tiny pieces on it and stuff, and it's got a lot of like kind of dirt that gets caked in there. So you always make sure that you wash it as well as you can before you start, which is what Raul has done. And using the knife is an easier way to cut all of that stuff off the outside.
Yes, I wash all vegetables first, like always. We do something to it. Just so you know, guys, the celery root tastes like potato and celery, like mixed together.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Celery, or I should say root vegetables, are generally more starchy than vegetables that grow above the ground. So yeah, thinking of that as it's the root of celery, you know, so it's got celery flavor, but it's the starchiness like a potato.
Okay, I follow in the butternut squash. Just for the people, of course, it's like fruit, no vegetable. But I think it's a good complement to the vegetables in this night.
And we're only using a little bit of butternut squash because we don't need a full one. We're using the rest of ours in another dish that we're serving in our cafe. But all we're using for tonight is this.
And also, I don't need the seeds, just for the people seeds. I just use the little part without seeds. I just clean the whole vegetables around, continue peeler. That one is the parsnips, it's like the white carrots.
Yeah, so parsnips, actually, if you haven't tried them before, they taste a little bit like carrots, but they also have a very unique flavor too. And they are starchier than carrots are. Carrots are not really a starchy vegetable, but parsnips are considered a starchy vegetable. For example, in 1 cup of sliced parsnips, there are 100 calories, there are 24 grams of carbohydrates, 1.5 grams of protein, and there's lots of potassium in there as well. There's potassium in all of these root veggies.
The parsnips, I think, is my favorite root vegetables. Just for you know, guys, it's really sweet. It's really good to mix with any veggies for make purees, for soups. You can put in meats, fish, chicken, anything, duck. So it's a really, really good thing for men in the kitchen.
So Raul is very comfortable in a commercial kitchen where you have to prepare a lot of food all at once. So you'll notice that he peeled everything first, then he sliced into skinny pieces, and then he's going to dice it from there. So that's a really efficient way of doing it.
Okay, so now we have everything peeled, everything ready to cut it. I'm gonna cut it in small pieces, like cubes, not too small because I looking like little pieces in the dish. And also I wanna cut in small pieces, like I said, in the dice cubes, okay?
So we always want to make sure that we're cutting when we're going to be roasting these all on the same sheet pan. And when you do that, you always want to make sure that all of the things you cut are the same size so that they cook the same amount of time. And the smaller you cut them, the faster they cook. So if you don't have a whole lot of time to cook, cut them small and they'll cook more quickly.
Try to cut them the same size, just looking at everything cool at the same time, not too small, not too big ones. Now we have the heron carrots. It's pretty peeled, just for you know, guys. Of course, I peel everything first.
And yeah, these carrots that we're using are rainbow carrots. So we've got some yellow, some orange, some purple, some white.
Yeah,
so we use the colorful ones. We like to, as people who have attended this class before know that we like colorful meals, but you could always just use regular orange carrots.
And also the heron is a little more juicy. The flavor is like sweet. And you can see the color. You can see the red ones, the purple, the yellow ones. So the plate, when you want to finish the plate, you want to see many colors in the same plate. So it's awesome.
Yeah, as we always say, we eat with our eyes first. So having a nice colorful plate really increases your enjoyment of your meal.
So almost done. Be careful with the celery root, just for the guys know it's like raw, it's a little hard to cut it. So just push the knife. It's going down and try to go on the same side to the vegetable, like looking for the cubes. This celery root is really traditional for the Mediterranean, more in French, Amsterdam. And also it's very popular for make soups, purees. So tastes really, really good.
Yeah, if you haven't tried celery root before, we encourage you to, because this is root vegetable season. This is the season where, you know, the veggies that grow above the ground don't really make it because it's too cold out, but the roots do make it. So we encourage you to try some new root vegetables this season that you haven't tried before.
So now I wanna cook like for 3 people, just for you see guys. We don't use many pieces, I just say. Sometimes you guys have a lot of roots in the water, like leftover for the soups. You can guys use hash for anything, for just for finish with steaks, with chicken, like I said before. So there's good tricks to make something different in the kitchen. So right now, my trick is fresh rosemary and fresh thyme. It's a really good combination for the vegetables. That's what I all recommend tonight.
So, yeah.
I clean the steam first. Same for the thyme, so for the rosemary, because this is not flavor. This is really hard to eat too.
Exactly. And yeah, there's the trick to pull the herbs off the stem. The trick is to pull them against the direction the leaves are growing.
Also, you guys can use oregano too, or fresh mint. Sage is a really good fresh herbs too. This is like I call like aromatic herbs. So I'm looking more flavor in my vegetables. Okay.
Yeah, that's what herbs add. They add aromatics. So that's a term that basically is addressing, you know, when you eat something and after you swallow, you get that kind of the flavor that sort of like wafts around your palate. Like it's like a smell inside your mouth, basically. That, or if you've ever like had a stuffy nose and you realize you can't taste very well, that's because you're not tasting the aromatics when you have a stuffy nose. So your sinuses and your nose are a part of the tasting experience. So adding things like herbs and garlic that are very aromatic, it just increases the depth of your dish.
So I can't really find the herbs together with the vegetables. And now I'm gonna cut some garlic. It's also the best flavor to mix the vegetables with garlic. So garlic, fresh herb, and roasted vegetables. I wanna show you guys how I wanna cut the garlic. You can guys cut like any style, but I think this is the best way for me. I just push the knife on top of the garlic. Just put a little bit broken. You can guys see the garlic is broken. This is one of those my tricks to cut in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's also very helpful when you have a garlic clove that still has like the papery skin on it. If you crush it, it becomes much, much easier to peel that papery skin off.
All right, so almost done for the vegetables. Just for you guys, you can use red beets, you can use sweet potatoes, turnips. So you have many things to mix in the kitchen, especially when you guys have a lot of leftover food and looking for something different. So now you have a good recipe to do.
Yeah, this roasted vegetable recipe can go with anything. You just add garlic and herbs to it, and it's any kind of vegetable will come out delicious.
Okay. So same for the first time in rosemary, I want to cut fine. because I just look at the flavor in the vegetable, not the garlic, not the fresh herbs. Everything is like a different flavors in the same dish, but that's why I can really fun. And also I want to save a little bit for my broccolini. And I want to use the another half to the roasted vegetables. So you can see the nice colors around. Put a little more, just like 1 teaspoon. Just want to keep my knife, clean everything around. I want to finish with olive oil. Of course, for vegetables, I recommend olive oil, salt, and pepper. Don't want too much pepper because it's a little strong. So just a little black pepper. And after I'm gonna mix it. You can guys use the hands, you can guys use the spoon. You guys see the all nice colors around. Fresh herbs and garlic.
It looks great.
Okay.
So he's gonna put that on the sheet pan and stick it in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're gonna check on it in a little while. But to talk a bit more about root vegetables. So I mentioned the nutrition facts for parsnip, that it's in 1 cup of parsnip, it's 24 grams of carbohydrates. So it's on the starchier side. So yep, that looks beautiful. And that's going in the oven right now.
So go to the oven.
And then carrots, in 1 cup of chopped carrots, there's only 12 grams of carbohydrates. So half the amount, half the starchiness of parsnips, which is kind of interesting because they look so similar. Celery root, also called celeriac. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's how I think it's pronounced. But that has in 1 cup 14 grams of carbohydrate as well. So it's got closer to the carrot amount of starchiness. So not super starchy. 2.5 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber also in the celery root. So you're getting lots of good stuff from there.
All right, so I clean my cutting board. The oven is ready to 400 degrees for like 20 minutes. I don't want to cook too much because I'm looking like the vegetables are al dente, not really soft and not really hot, so like meat inside. Okay. I'm gonna follow with the broccolini. I use broccolini tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna prep all these veggies, like we said, before we touch the fish. So what is broccolini, Raul? How is it different than broccoli?
So it's really similar. Just for you guys actually the things. Broccolini, the flavor is between broccoli and Chinese broccoli. It's really sweet. It's a long stage, you can see, guys. It's really fast to cook, but the flavor is totally different. It's like it's really sweet, and especially if you guys mix with garlic, with fresh lemon, and then you can make a grill. You can make like blanch, roasted. So anyway, it's really good and easy to do. So that's the flavor to real broccoli, like between broccoli, Chinese broccoli, and broccoli.
Yep. So broccolini, it has those like long skinny stems. If you have any, when you're making this recipe, if any of the stems are thicker than others, just cut them lengthwise to make them skinnier so that they can cook the same amount of time as the other skinny ones. And broccolini is like baby broccoli. So it's not, it is like Raul said, it cooks very quickly. You don't have to cook it for a long time because the stems and stalks are not as thick as broccoli.
Okay, so now we have the broccoli ready to cook it, or to cook later, and I want to start to make the sauce because we need like 10 minutes to make the sauce. So I have the shallots. I just cut in half. And make it slices like chopped fine.
Yeah, so the way he just cut that is like the chef special way of cutting shallots and onions. where you're using the natural, you know, how like the natural layers of an onion and a shallot, you're using those to your advantage by cutting it in a very specific way.
Okay, so we have a chopped fine shallots, as like you say. The flavor is that's really similar to red onions, but the shallot has more flavors. So also it's a little more sweet. It's not too strong. And you can see my eyes. I cried when I cut the shallots because it's a good way to make the shallots.
Yeah, the shallots are like more aromatic than the typical onions. So yeah, I guess if you have a hard time with your eyes watering, then shallots will definitely do that to you.
Okay, so I want to move the cutting board to the vegetables. We want to start to cut the fish.
So in a professional kitchen, we have different cutting boards for different types of foods so that we do not cross-contaminate anything. So we use the green for fruits and veggies, and we use the blue for fish.
Yes, so I'm going to start to cut the fish. I just want to change my gloves. Like you said, in the restaurants, normally we work in different colors. I use the blue one to the fish, all seafood, yellow for the kitchen, I mean for the chicken, ducks, the red one just for the meats. So that's an easy way to cook everything and make it everything one. Alright guys, so I have the halibut. You guys can see it. This is a flat fish. This fish living in the ocean, in the bottom, all the time in the bottom, especially in the cold waters. That's one of those my favorite fish right now. So I just want to cut in the end. This part we don't need it. It's a really part. You can see guys at the end. So I want to take it out. It's very easy to cut it.
Yeah, we received, again, in a commercial kitchen, you get like big pieces of fish. So of course, when you go to the grocery store, you can always just get a fillet and ask them to cut it to a, 4 ounce, 5 ounce, 6 ounce, whatever piece, whatever size you want. It makes it much easier. And we are also, the skin on halibut is thicker. If you've attended our other classes where we've cooked salmon, we leave the skin on for salmon because it's thinner and you can eat it more easily and it sears more nicely. But the skin on halibut is a bit thicker, so we're going to be taking that off.
So for tonight we have halibut. I recommend this fish. Why? I think right now the best fish in the restaurant. That one is sea bass. Is the best fish in the market. It's a little expensive, but it's something different. It's really sweet. The flavor is tasty like tilapia. It knows it's a little expensive. That's the only bad news we have tonight, but the fish is so completely good.
Yeah, and it's very like other white fish, it's very like a mild flavor and it's lighter. This is not a fatty fish. So salmon or Arctic char or mackerel, these are trout. These are all fatty fish that have a high omega-3 content, but halibut does not have a lot of fat in it, like at all. It's really mostly just protein. So that's, it's like a lean meat, like a chicken breast, which is kind of cool. But if you're looking for fish to get those omega-3 fats, then this is not the fish to go for, but this is an excellent protein source for sure.
Okay, guys, so I had to do something to make the fish tonight. I want to show you what is the best way to cook the fish. So I always say that for cook the fish, make sure you have everything in hand. And also, I want to use a canola oil, no olive oil, because the olive oil I just recommend just for the vegetables.
And we're also going to we have this pan on high heat. So as we've talked about in past classes, canola oil is a good neutral flavored oil that has a high smoke point. So when you're cooking something on a stovetop on high heat, especially like Raul said, especially if it's not vegetables, then canola oil is a good one to try.
And also I'm gonna season with salt, pepper. Let's see, just a little salt, pepper for flavor. The skin out. This is where they have the skin.
Yep, so salt and pepper. You can do it on just one side or on both sides, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I just wanna cook on one side just for you guys see how I cook the fish this time, especially the halibut. I'm just looking nice color in the butter. I always cook in the front part, just for you see guys. I take it out the skin for the other side, but I wanna cook with the face. And also, when you're gonna sear the fish, you can see the sauteed pan in the center, it's a little dry. When the oil is going to the corners, this is the perfect time to cook.
Yep, and you can see there's a little bit of bubbles there too. So this oil is nice and hot now.
So we have the vegetable in the oven, like almost 8 minutes to 10. Just looking another 10 minutes. I wanna cut the fish, put the fish, and finish in the oven.
Yeah, so this is, I think in the past when we've made fish in this class, we have just cooked it fully on in the pan, but you don't have to do that. And the way that Raul is doing it is actually, it's a good method, especially if you're worried that you're gonna like burn the outside before the inside is cooked. This is the way to prevent that from happening.
Okay, so you guys, I think you can see the sauteed pan. It's almost the bones going around. It's the perfect time for pon the fish. So pon the fish like that, don't push. Little separate. Keep like 1 minute for looking about a little color on the butter.
Yeah, so he's letting them sear. He's searing it by putting it in that super hot pan and just letting it sit there. And then when it's seared enough, he's gonna put it in the oven to finish. So said that's the way to prevent it from burning on the outside before the inside is cooked.
Also, guys, this piece is good for making the grill, bake. Different ways to cook. So there's very easy to cook.
Yep, very easy to cook.
Okay, I just clean my gloves because I wanna finish with the sauce after. I just clean everything around, make sure I clean everything. Don't mix the seafood with the vegetables. Just in case. Try to keep everything around really hot. So I'm gonna go right now to the oven for another like 12 minutes. Cook through.
All right. So he's putting that in the oven right now. So like you saw, he only seared one side for about a minute. And you'll see in the end, it makes such a beautiful golden color on that side of the fish. When we did our test run last night and seeing the final product, it was like, wow, that's amazing. So it really makes a beautiful, crispy outside, even though there's no skin on it. So you don't need the skin to get that crispy sear.
Some fishes is good for the skin. Like salmon is good. I like the skin for the salmon. This skin is a little hard, so it's not like crazy flavor. So
yeah,
if I don't lose anything, this is skin for the halibut. Okay, the fish is in the oven. Right now I'm gonna make a Beurre Blanc sauce. It's like the French typical sauce. It's like lemon butter sauce, like citrus sauce. So I start with the shallots. Chop on the shallots we made before. And also the white one. Tonight we have a Sauvignon Blanc. So I use like for 2 people, like 4 ounces. So we have the white one together with the shallots.
And what temperature is that pan on right now?
So right now it's high. Everything is in high.
On high. Okay.
I start in high, and after I want to show you guys how to finish the sauce.
Yep. So yeah, Beurre Blanc sauce is, the translation is a white butter sauce. So this is I had never tried this sauce before. Raul made it for me when we were practicing for this class, and it's very savory, and it's, you know, less is more for sure. I know I get tempted to add, when I really like the flavor of something, I'm tempted to add a lot of it, but you do not need a lot of it with this sauce because it's so flavorful and rich.
Okay, so you guys see the white ones together with the shallows boiling. I just put a little piece the first time for more flavor. This sauce is, like I said that before, it's like typical in French. We use in many restaurants here, like for the chicken, for especially the butter for the chicken, for the fish. You guys can put capers. You can guys add mustard. So that's like modern sauce right now. We can guys use many styles, many different sauce with the butter sauce. It's not too strong. It's not too heavy. It's not too sweet because it's a little citrus. Because, you know, guys, it's the alcohol for the wine is going down. So in the end, you guys see it's like the caramel, so like the sugar for the wine. So that's why they say it's not heavy. So reduce the wine with the shallot. The shallot is looking like brown.
Yeah, the shallots are getting like a little bit golden brown, and like he said, the sugar from the wine is becoming caramelized. It's helping to caramelize the shallots. And the reason we're letting it boil like that and bubble so much is because we want to cook off the alcohol. We don't want alcohol, you know, whenever you see alcohol in food, it's most often the alcohol is cooked off. You're not wanting to like feel the effects of alcohol through food. You only want the flavor of it.
Okay, so now it's continuing high. I just want to put the heavy cream as like 90% reduced. It's time, perfect time for add the heavy cream. I just put like 4 ounces of heavy cream. Continuing salt and pepper, like you say, salt and pepper for everything, just a little salt and pepper. So you guys see, it's butter, it's heavy cream, it's white wine, it's lemon. It looks crazy, and many things in the same sauce. But believe me, this sauce is really delicious, very tasty for any food you guys making home.
Yeah, what else can this sauce go on? You said it can go on chicken too?
Yes, it's more for the chicken and for fish, yeah.
Yeah.
So one trick for this sauce, just make sure to wash all the time, because if you lose for 10 seconds, you can everything is going out. So make sure guys look at the sauce all the time, keeping high, and when it's boiling, I put in a medium high. Okay.
Yeah, I think especially when you have dairy in a pot on the stove, if you've ever had milk or cream in a pot before and it boiled over in a second, just 1 second of not looking at it and it boils all over the place. So definitely a good tip for Raul to just say that you definitely want to stay right in front of the pot. Don't walk away.
Okay. So now it's boiling. I use the whisk. Say the shallows, white wine together, reduce the white wine one more time, heavy cream, salt and pepper, and then 1 piece the thyme. The thyme is for more flavor. I love the thyme. The flavor is unbelievable.
Could you add any other herbs to this too?
You guys can put rosemary, but thyme is not too strong. Rosemary is more strong.
Mm.
Okay, so now it's boiling. So
it's going up super fast. You see that? So definitely got to stand right next to it.
So I want to reduce like another like 40%. Yeah, look at the heavy cream is a little thick, so I want to look going down for finish the butter and lemon juice.
Is it still on high, or did you turn the heat?
And high. Just the only thing you need is just looking all the time in mixer, because the cream is going up for the when it's really hot. That's why they would do. Okay, the fish is almost down, the vegetable is almost down. I think it's the perfect time. Now I'm gonna put in the low high. I'm gonna add the lemon. I use the fresh lemon. Just I put one piece over there, just for you guys, just put a little, like half lemon. I recommend everything fresh. Just put the like 2 ounces of lemon. So the soy you can guys see is in the bottom. It's like almost reduce everything. When I take it out the first time, don't need any more. Take it out.
So by adding that thyme in there, it just like infused the thyme flavor into the dish, into the sauce.
Okay, right now I just put it medium high. And also the best part in this sauce is the butter. I have a room temperature butter, not too cold, because if you put cold butter, you broken the sauce. So you can guys put the butter like 1 hour before, half hour. Don't be put like cold, like little strong for the sauce. You can break the sauce. I'm gonna put a couple pieces.
So you said you've broken the sauce. What does that mean?
I just try to explain. If you put the butter, like the same time, couple pieces. I just want to put piece by piece in mixer. And when I say broken, it's like separate.
Okay.
Or I use in the kitchen. It's like, hey, don't broken the sauce. Don't broken the sauce.
Yeah.
Separate the sauce.
If anybody has ever watched that show that just came out called The Bear about chefs, they talk about like, you broke the sauce, you broke the sauce. So that's definitely like a chef term that like, I think the rest of us don't really know.
Just you can guys turn off the sauce. So like 90% of the sauce is ready. So now the butter. Just put 4 pieces. Make sure I mix everything. So the butter melted inside the cream. You guys can see. Make sure I mix the butter. When it's done, you can save in the table. Because you don't need any more. The sauce is really easy to make. I think you guys see it's very complicated by now. Let's just reduce the shallots with the white wine, cream,
Right.
lemon.
Like
and
thinking about it being like a traditional French sauce, that does sound like it's kind of intimidating and like you don't want to break the sauce, all that stuff, but you just saw how easy it is. And obviously with the heavy cream and the butter, it's definitely a heavy sauce. So like I said, less is more for sure.
All right, so I want to check my vegetables in my piece. I think it's the time for check the vegetables. In 1 second, please.
Okay, I'm gonna pop back in here since he's walking over to the oven. So that sauce, I mean, he's about to do the broccolini as well. We are building depth of flavor with all of these different things here, all these different components of this meal. So we've got the roasted root veggies with butternut squash. So those are kind of like sweeter and more earthy. Then we've got our fish, which is like a very mild flavor, but because of the sear, it's got like that kind of like the toasted, you know, a little bit, it's not charred, but it's that kind of like a toasted flavor. Then with the sauce, we've got the buttery, salty, lemony wine flavor that's really delicious. And the broccolini has lots of garlic in it. So you're getting so many different, you know, sweet, salty, savory, bitter, all those flavors in one. And that's what makes meals satisfying. That's a part of what makes them so satisfying, when they have lots of different flavors, lots of different colors, lots of different textures.
Okay, guys, so I already checked the vegetables in the piece. Like 3 more minutes, everything is ready at the same time. It's looking a nice color in the fish. Right now, I wanna cook the broccolini. We're gonna use the new Sauteed pan. And everything is working right now with high. With olive oil. Don't cook the fish in the olive oil, just recommend. I know that people try to care about everything, but the fish with olive oil, it's possible you broke, you lost the flavor because it's a little strong. So just use it for salads or for cook the best.
Yeah, that's really good advice because that white fish it has such a mild flavor. You don't want to use an oil that overpowers it. So canola oil has also a mild flavor. So those are good to go together. So what temperature do you have this on right now?
It's in high.
On high. Okay.
So I just put together the chopped garlic. You guys can use shallots too. You can guys use the same shallots for the broccolini. You can guys use the shallots for the sauteed if you guys don't have garlic. But the garlics are really good for the kitchen, for everything. I love the garlic. So I'm gonna cook together the broccoli with garlic. A couple pieces. This is really fast. So I just put at the same time.
So with this pan on high, we're kind of like searing the broccolini too, right?
Yeah. So now you can see it. Now you put in medium high. Toast the garlic for nice color, crispy. Salt and pepper, of course.
And look at how much brighter that broccolini is now that it's been heated up, like compared to the broccolini that's still on that pan next to it. This broccolini is so much brighter.
Also, you guys can replace the broccolini. You guys put asparagus, spinach, Brussels sprouts, broccoli wrap. Some many vegetables for mixed together with the fish. But tonight we have the broccolini, something different, something really light and really good flavor too. You can see?
Yeah,
Nice
it's
for the garlic.
beautiful.
And also put a little lemon.
I always add lemon juice as like a garnish. I guess not always, but a lot of the time. When I'm plating things at home, I add like olive oil and lemon juice on top of pretty much everything.
So it's a little blanch then with the fresh roasted garlic. Oh my God, it smells so good. All right, so it's almost done. I'm gonna go to my fish and my vegetables. Okay, just turn it off.
All right.
And go to the best part.
We're basically done here. The broccolini, you saw it cooks very quickly, like we said, because the stems are skinnier. You can always cook it more. Like Raul said, he is cooking these vegetables kind of al dente. So you can always, in the ways that you are modifying this recipe to meet your preferences, you can cook the vegetables longer if you prefer. Another way to cook broccolini is to roast it, but be careful because the little florets are so delicate, they can get kind of too crispy very quickly. But roasting broccolini is fun too. Another thing that I love about broccolini is that it's sometimes when you get it, because it's like it's not such like a big giant chunk like a broccoli head is. They're like kind of separate florets, and sometimes the little tops of the florets will even be opened up into yellow flowers, depending on, I guess, how ready they were to be picked. So it's just cute that you're eating some little flowers on your plate too.
All right, so we have everything ready.
Yeah, those vegetables look awesome.
So yeah, the vegetable right now is, I think you guys can see it's a little al dente when you cut it, but it's perfect for it. Also, it's nice colors. The herb is going to nice colors too. And also, I'm gonna go to the fish with another side. Just cook a little flavor on top. The same oil. You can put a little on top. Looks like juicy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So great.
Let's try to spatula the butter first.
That spatula he's using is like a special fish spatula. That's what chefs like to use for fish.
So you can see
Ooh, so pretty. That's awesome. Yeah, that's such a beautiful golden color. That's great.
okay, guys, so gonna
So, yep, time to plate up. So again, if any of you have ever been to Courtyard Cafe and gotten a chef table dish from Raul, that he was like at a table out in front of the cafe and had like a special for the day, he's the master of making food look like absolutely beautiful on the plate. So our Instagram account loves him.
also tomorrow, thank you. Also tomorrow we had a chef table. Something different, like special for the season 2 with the butternut squash.
Yum.
You guys will be serving it tomorrow, so it's really good. So the best part right now, I just want to plate it. All vegetables together. Nice color in the center, like the broccolini. Like I say, you can guys put broccoli, regular broccoli, broccolini, broccoli wrap, asparagus. Spinach is good too. It's a good combination for the spinach.
Yeah, comparing broccoli rabe as well. Broccoli rabe is a very bitter taste. It looks like broccolini. It's got the long stems, but it's got some more leaves in there as well. But it's just a super bitter taste. Some people really like that. People that love black coffee and dark chocolate and all that stuff like the bitter flavor. It's not really for me. I definitely prefer broccolini. But this garlicky broccolini is like so good.
So you can guys see the sauce. It's perfect. It's not broken.
Perfect.
And also, guys, we have already the dish for tonight. Perfect dish for tonight. So we're gonna put the lemon butter on top. So you guys see the many flavor, nice color, easy to make it. Just like I said,
Yeah.
it's all leftover things in your kitchen, so it's perfect.
Yeah. And it's 5:55 and we started cooking at probably 5:10 or 5:15. So you see that this beautiful gourmet meal is made in 45 minutes or less. So it's really, you know, and also we made sure that we didn't prep anything in advance either. So Raul cut all these vegetables, peeled them, you know, chopped the garlic, all that stuff on camera for all of you. So all of this can be done in easily under an hour, which is really awesome.
Just put a little olive oil on top for shine.
Yep, of course.
And see, I think
Yeah,
that's ready. Nice color, nice
it looks
presentation.
so great. It
It's
looks
very
so
easy.
great.
You guys can use salmon too, mahi, swordfish, any white fish, chicken. Tonight we have a halibut, something different, but believe me, this fish is really, really good. So
Mhm.
I hope you guys enjoy. If any
Yeah.
question, please let me know, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or have you ever tried halibut before? Let us know.
I've had it at restaurants. I was just wondering, sometimes they always have bones in it. I was wondering why that was.
You say bones?
Like in the
Yeah.
restaurant, it's served with bones. Why is that?
No, traditional, it depends the restaurant. Just working in another restaurant too, the old fillets coming like that, like I showed you before, without bones, but in the center, it's a little bend, yes, it's more bones. That's why I take it out, because it's the part in the back. So it's the part in the center, that's why I take it out first, the white part in the fish. I think you have a little piece right here.
I think that part of the reason why they serve with the bone is because it allows them to have like a bigger cut of the fish and it's maybe like more on display type thing. Like I don't know. I feel like it's maybe like a culinary, like a chef preference thing that they like a
and
big
also-
piece and it still has the bones in it.
I would prefer it without the bones, but
I know.
No, but wait,
Same.
I don't know if you guys try a monkfish on the bone. Yes, I think it's the only fish you can eat with bone.
Did you say monkfish?
Monkfish, also good.
Okay,
I just tried before, like many times, and the flavor is really, really good. I don't think it's too many fish with bone. The salmon sometimes come in the little bones, but some
Yeah.
little bones.
yeah. It's also like salmon had like he said, those tiny bones, they call them pin bones, I think, because they're literally like the length of like a little pin. And it's even as a chef, like they'll go at the fish with like a pair of tweezers and try and pull out all the pieces of the bone, but the bones are like translucent. So it's sometimes it's very hard to even see them. So, you know, we do our best.
So this is a balance between the vegetables, the sauce, and the fish. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different flavors in the sandwich. And I think it's easy to make it. So you guys just let me know if you have another question.
Yeah. Can you hold the dish up one more time to the phone camera? I want to talk about the microgreens. He used microgreens as a garnish. So they're those kind of like purpley green things. Those are really just like the very beginnings of vegetables growing. And they pick them when they're just starting to grow. They're super delicate. It's almost like the consistency of like a clover in your front yard, you know, just very, very delicate, but they're, you know, fully edible. They're sweet. They have like a really good light flavor, and they add, you know, of course, make your dish look a little bit fancier. They have nice color. They're just like a fun addition. And you can buy them in a big container at the grocery store, so you can garnish all meals with them.
And also you guys can eat too. It's no bad flavor because it's micro basil. It's a micro daikon radish, so it's a different.
Oh, micro daikon radish. That's cool.
Yeah, you can see it's a different colors. I just use it for like garnish, but also you can eat too. Many restaurants use it for appetizers, for decorate the end.
Mhm.
It's not bad. The flavor is like neutral, but it's good.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just want to, I want to say we were fishing in Alaska, and those are really big fish. So we got them, the boat we were on, they flash, you know, they filleted it, they did whatever, they flash froze it. We get, you know, like, I think there was a 90-pound box ship. We split it, there were 3 families. But one of the easiest ways to do to also, because it is not a fatty fish, I did sauteed spinach and onions and garlic as a bed in a baking dish, and then season the fish and set it on top, and then put butter panko crumbs on top. And then it was flavorful enough and soft enough, and I just served it over brown rice. It was very good. It worked.
Sounds good, Margaret. That's
That
nice.
sounds delicious. Yeah. That's awesome. And you're
I like
it's
one
not
dish.
fatty
One
fish.
dish things is my thing. Let's put everything in a bowl. Let's sit down in one dish, and that's it. Yeah.
I know.
Anyway.
I guess, yeah, it's always nice to have fewer dishes to wash. That's definitely nice.
But I love this dish. It's just wonderful. Another way to do halibut. It's great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And also,
Any-
yes.
I was going to say, any final questions or anything? Anybody want to add anything else?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for showing us this. The meal looks beautiful.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're happy to have you guys here. And you are all on our email list. So each month when we do classes in the future, it might be Raul again. It might be the other chef Raul. It might just be me. Might be somebody new. Who knows? We'll see. But we will always be here every month. That we can promise going forward.